Hello, beautiful members. First of all, thank you for being here. Secondly, if you're a brand new member, just a reminder that all of the video content, all of the videos will be in all of the video members playlist. And then all of the other content is broken up into whiteboard videos or Q&A videos or crystal videos, and you will find them all in the members only playlists at the bottom of my YouTube. You'll find them all there. And then secondly, what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, and then all of the post tarot card pulls as well as Q&A questions are all going to be found in the community section of YouTube. For whatever reason, I think on the phone it's difficult to find or it's just not there. No, I think it's there. You just have to scroll over in the little tab option. I don't know how to change those. So, but I just wanted to remind you of where you can find all of that. Now, today, I'm not going to follow up on Monday's video. I feel like everything that needed to be said was said. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit about manifestation with all of you. And I think that this is really important because we're all coming to a place, especially if you've been feeling very clear, clear-minded, clear-headed. If you've been feeling very clear, then you're in a perfect place to manifest. If you're still struggling back and forth, that's okay. This is still a very significant time to manifest. We've got like 3 planets, I think, at least in retrograde. We have eclipse season coming up, or currently in eclipse season. We've got new moon, full moon, summer solstice, all of that great stuff. So a lot of astrological events happening at this time moving forward. I've really been getting the message on my own as well as for clients that this is the time to really plan out your next 5 years. So what do you want? It's really important that you start thinking about that. And it's not necessarily about what job do you want or what relationship you want or who you want to be with. It's not about that. Most of the time, when we ask for what we want, when we're trying to manifest something, we actually block ourselves. We actually end up self-sabotaging. And I don't blame you for doing this because we all do it. And essentially, a lot of the self-sabotage that we go through really comes down to past lifetimes. So say, for example, in a past lifetime, you were a monk, a Buddhist monk, and you didn't believe in material wealth. So you amassed a great wealth, but when you turned into a Buddhist monk, you decided to burn all of your money or give it all away, and you had absolutely nothing left. And from that lifetime, you have convinced yourself at a soul level that being happy on this planet does not require or need wealth. And in retrospect, absolutely, being happy does not require wealth. But do you see the problem there? The problem is that you've indoctrinated yourself from a past lifetime to convince yourself that you need to have nothing in order to be happy. And that's actually the case for a lot of individuals, is they've convinced themselves that they really have to work hard or struggle to be abundant. And that's just not true. So the problem is that every time you think about being financially free or having a lot of money in your bank account, every time you have that thought, instantaneously your soul blocks you from that thought because of these past lifetimes, because you don't believe that you should have it or that it is attainable. Say, for example, if deep down you really didn't love yourself, but you really want a partner, you really want a boyfriend, you really want a girlfriend, you really want someone in your life. But every time you thought about your ideal relationship, immediately this thought comes in. It's like, I want to be with this beautiful, amazing, incredible human being and consciousness soul. And then you're like, oh, but I'm not good enough for that. So what thought wins in manifestation? Is it the thought that what you really want is what's going to happen? Or is it actually the thought that you're not good enough for what it is that you want? I will tell you that every single time what you think that you're not good enough for receiving, or your immediate emotional reaction based on what you want is going to override what it is that you want every single time. And the reason is emotion. Your emotion helps you manifest. But if you associate a negative emotion to something that you want to manifest, you will never be able to manifest it. So if you're sitting there at home thinking, shit, I've always struggled with financial abundance, and obviously in some past lifetime I fucked myself over, so how do I overcome that? If I think about money, but I have blocks about money, and I can't think about money in order to manifest money, then where am I going to go with this? Right? You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But that's okay. You don't actually have to think about the thing that you want in order to manifest the thing itself. I always thought that it was kind of contradictive and a little bit paradoxical how manifestation works, right? Say, for example, I will love myself once I lose 10 pounds. It's never going to happen that way. It's never going to work that way. You need to love yourself first, and then you'll lose the weight. You need to feel abundant first, and then you will have true abundance, right? So I always thought it was pretty twisted that if you ask for something, it always comes back to you in a very untangible way. And I always be careful what you wish for, So if you were like, I don't know, something silly like, I want to go traveling, or I want to go somewhere, or I want to travel a lot. All of a sudden, your kid gets into AAA baseball and you're traveling every weekend. And hey, you manifested it. You're traveling a lot, but it's not exactly the travel that you wanted. I always bring it back to my classic EA example of trying to manifest a free cup of coffee. So years ago, when I was really working with manifestation and I felt like I could, be a little bit sly with the universe, I asked for a free cup of coffee. So every week I would ask for something new. And I'll just tell you a really cool story. The one week I wrote it down and I asked for cotton candy, right? I'm like, what do I want? It's easier to manifest something that you have no attachment over. Whether I get a free cup of coffee or not, I'm still going to buy a cup of coffee because that's what I want. You know what I mean? That's not a crazy thing to manifest. And that doesn't really include any expectations or attachments. Therefore, you're not pulling yourself away from what it is that you want to manifest. So anyway, yeah, I'll tell you the cotton candy one, and then I'll tell you the cup of coffee one. It's so funny. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yeah, what do I want to manifest that I'm not attached to, that I don't really care about, but just to kind of prove or whatever, not prove, but just to kind of work with my manifestation ability. And so all of a sudden, cotton candy, this beautiful, fluffy pink and blue cotton candy popped into my mind. I'm like, yeah, I could go for some cotton candy. Let's manifest cotton candy. And I thought that was really weird. So I wrote it down in my journal. I kid you not, 5 minutes later, I have an energy healer who's coming over and we're doing an exchange. And she gives me this beautiful energy healing session. And right after the session, she goes over to one of my huge crystals and she's like, oh my God, I love that. It reminds me of cotton candy. And I'm looking at her like, what did you just say? She's like, yeah, cotton candy. And I'm like, first of all, this is a huge raw point, hard ass quartz crystal. There's how does this ever, it's clear quartz. I mean, how does this remind you of cotton candy, right? I didn't say that, but I was just thinking that. So I thought that was funny. And I showed her in my notebook. I'm like, I just manifested this about 5 minutes before you came. And she was blown away. Same thing with the cup of coffee. So I asked for a free cup of coffee. During that week, I went into Tim Hortons because I'm Canadian. And there was this guy standing in front of me and we spoke up this lovely conversation and we're chatting about the day or the weather or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, this is it. This guy, he's going to buy me my free cup of coffee. So I'm already in gratitude, boom, 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 just manifested, free cup of coffee, just very excited about it. Then he went up and he ordered his thing and nope, no free cup of coffee. It's fine. I bought my own small cup of coffee and it was $1.13. And so I walk out of the Tim Hortons And on the ground, there's a pile of change, just a bunch of dimes and quarters and nickels and pennies, I don't know. And I look at the small pile of change, and I don't usually do this, but I pick it up. And as I pick it up, I count it. 4 quarters, a dime, 3 pennies. Oh my God, it's $1.13. I just got my free cup of coffee from the universe. Yes, I have coffee in my hand, but I actually received the free cup of coffee from a pile of change. So I always thought that it was really funny the way that the universe works in manifestation. And if you think about asking for what you want very specifically and then it coming to you in a very unobvious way, it's kind of like, universe, what are you doing? But at the same time, we can actually reverse engineer this and work with it in a way that is that works with the way that the universe works. So instead of being very clear, and also with the energy of self-sabotage, expectation, attachment, all of the garbage that goes through with you saying, I want to win the lottery, I want $100,000, right? All of that garbage, that gross stuff, that disbelief that it's possible, that goes along with asking for what you want. It's never going to work. So instead, be untangible with the universe. Ask for what you want in an untangible way, in an unclear way. So if you want financial abundance, I recommend that you ask for freedom. And you know what? You don't even have to ask for freedom. Let me ask you this. Have the thing that you want in mind. Maybe it's a house, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a new job, right? Maybe it's whatever. Have the thing that you want in mind. And I want you to ask yourself, why do you want that thing? Why do I want this? So say, for example, you want financial abundance. Okay, great. But why? Once you have that financial abundance, what will that allow you to do? What's the follow through after the manifestation? Great, I got the job. Now what? Now where do you go from there? It's not just about acquiring the thing itself. It's about understanding where that's going to lead you. So essentially, most people, myself included, want financial abundance in order to be able to relax, in order to be able to step away from the matrix, in order to be able to feel true freedom like never before. The reason why you want blank is because of blank. So focus on blank number 2 rather than blank number 1. Because like I said, blank number 1 of your manifestation comes with a myriad of disbelief. If you focus on why you want the thing, and not only focus on the freedom that comes with having the thing that you want, focus on the vibration. Focus on the emotion. Focus on the energy behind actually manifesting that thing. That's when you manifest. Most of the time, you will ask for a thing over and over and over again, and it just simply will not come. And it doesn't mean that you're not powerful. Don't use that as an excuse to convince yourself that you're not good enough to receive. That's not the case. The fact is you're blocking yourself. And instead of trying to figure out where you're blocking or how you're blocking or where it's coming from, focus on asking in a different way. Focus on asking in a way that you are not attached to. Freedom, what is it? The ability to do what I want when I want. That's great. Not a whole lot of blocks, in the realm of freedom, is there? You can be free. And this is how you do it. And that's when you start manifesting. And that's really important. And I wanted to say something else about manifestation. What was it? Hold on. I'm going to have to look at my notes. 1 second. Okay, so the other part of manifestation is if you are a master manifester and you're really good at manifestation, that's great. But your ego mind, your human mind, might want something that will be eventually, but is not meant to be right now. Which means listen to the signs and the symptoms. Listen to the signs in your life. What is meant to be? What is not meant to be? Really just listen to what your reality is showing you is appropriate and what is not appropriate in your dynamics. Now, I bring this up because this is very sad, but I will mention it. So I really learned this lesson and I really had this huge download just the other day. I pitched my book to Hay House Publishing. It was so beautiful. Like I really wanted I've wanted to pitch to Hay House. I've wanted a book published by Hay House for a very long time, for like years now. Finally, I have a book that I feel like is powerful enough, suitable enough to finally pitch. And this woman comes into my life. She's like, oh my goodness, I know the CEO of Hay House. Let me contact him. And she basically got my book in front of thousands of other books. And I was thinking to myself, this is it. It's easy. It's manifesting. It's all in flow. This feels really right. Let's do this. And I pitched it. I felt really good about it. Gave them all my stuff. And then they denied me. And then I got rejected. And in that moment of rejection, I'm like, what? And I went through a whole thing of battling my human who just kind of wanted to wallow in self-misery and sadness. And then I also, connected to my my soul as well. And what my soul told me was, this isn't the right time. You will be publishing with Hay House, but not for this book. I tried to tell you that it wasn't supposed to be for this book. Your wife tried to tell you to self-publish, and you didn't listen. So now we have to reject you in order for you to listen. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I understood that my contracts weren't for Hay House right now. But the reason why I'm so intuitively pulled and want it so badly is because eventually my contracts do lead me to Hay House. And so I learned the lesson that your ability to manifest and want something can override your contracts. So for a lot of you who manifest something and then it's just in flow and it's going and it's like, yes, this is it. This is the thing. I'm moving forward. It's so easy. Yes, 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 yes. And then right at the very end of this opportunity, of this job, of this whatever, it drops off. That is a great example of you being a master manifester to override your contracts to get what you want. And then finally at the end, your higher self, your spirit guides are like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to get that job right now. What are you doing? You're not supposed to get that publisher right now, right? So it's like, you're powerful. Great. I'm glad that you got here, but you're not supposed to be here. So it's still not going to happen for you. I do believe that it's possible to override your contracts. I do believe that it's possible to get what you want when you want it from, a free will perspective. But you wrote your contracts and your blueprint for this lifetime for a reason. And, you're supposed to do things at a certain time for a reason, right? So anyway, just an experience that I had that I really wanted to share, that there's many different aspects of manifestation, many different ways that you can go about thinking about it. But once again, stop thinking about the thing that you want itself and start to go to the next step. How do you feel once you have that thing? What's the follow through? How is that going to change and affect your life? How is that going to impact your life for the better? That's what you should be focusing on. And if you ask for freedom and you're thinking about financial freedom, but you get freedom within your family dynamics, you get freedom in your job, you get freedom in your friends, you get freedom spiritually, you get freedom in all the other ways, great. Eventually that financial freedom will come to you. You have to trust. Manifestation is all about trusting. If you ask for something and believe you're not supposed to have it or you're not good enough to have it, you're never going to have it. It comes down to trust and belief. So this week, I want all of you to ask for one thing, but make it simple, make it small, and make it something that you have no attachment over. But I want you to really take some time to sit down, think about the thing, and it could even be something weird, right? Like something not normal. Obviously, I want to manifest a cup of water. Well, here you go, Yeah, so even if you're I want to manifest a basketball, that would be weird, right? And then 3 weeks later, it doesn't have to happen in a week, right? But 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, someone's like, hey, did you watch that basketball game? Even though there's no basketball games right now. Maybe the word comes up in your life. Be aware that when you manifest, it doesn't always have to be tangible. Okay, so be aware of that. And yeah, so I want you to think of a small thing that you can manifest. Be aware of that coming back into your life. That is just going to grow your confidence in your own ability to manifest. Write the thing down. When it is manifested, make sure you comment in the members only videos and I get to see it and we can all celebrate with you that you've manifested that thing. Something small, something that you have no attachment over, and be aware of how it comes back to you with no expectations or timelines on it. All right? Keep up the good work. Beautiful members, I'm so sorry that I missed this past week's video, Q&A video. I was so tired. I'm kind of tired now, actually. I might go for a nap, but yeah, so I really appreciate all of the love and the feedback and the good vibes you guys gave me. I just felt so supported in that moment. So thank you once again. We will resume the Q&A this week. And I'm trying to think, should we do a Q&A for the Galactic Federation? What is next week? When's the July 1st? I feel like that's coming up. Let me just check my schedule. Yeah, okay, so next Monday, I'm doing a live video with my wife. But we can do a Q&A on Sunday. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, let's do the human Q&A this Sunday, and then I'll do a Galactic Federation full Q&A video on Monday. So let's do that. So no questions this week. Let me utilize the questions that you already submitted. I think there's about 100 comments. Yeah, I think that's a really good topic. Yeah, I think that's a really good topic. Let's stick with that. I'll let Lauren know so that she doesn't post the Q&A post on Friday. And yeah, and then we'll go from there. So this Sunday's Q&A is all about being human. You guys had great questions. Let's stick with that, and then I'll do a Galactic Federation Q&A and kind of like a symptom update Q&A at another time. All right, guys? Thank you all so much for being here. Check out the rest of my videos. I love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your week. I will see you Sunday live in the morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye.